Now, shopping for an entry-level compact sports sedan can certainly be a daunting task, especially when you start looking at every one of the competitors. This year, Audi's made that decision even more difficult with the introduction of the fully redesigned 2017 A4. This week, I'm testing the fully revamped model. Let's take a look and see all the changes the company has made to their best-selling sedan. Now, of the three German luxury brands, Audi has typically offered an intriguing blend of luxury, performance, sport, and technology. And with the introduction of the all-new 2017 A4, it looks like the company is continuing that trend of offering that nice blend between buyers. Now, if you guys remember the previous generation A4, that was the known internally as the B8 platform, and it was the fourth generation. This new one is the fifth generation of Audi's ever-popular compact sports sedan. Now, if you guys know the previous generation, it was a pretty big success for Audi. Even though the old one was getting a bit old on the market, it still was a pretty strong offering. So when Audi was faced with the task of redesigning it, they looked at offering very similar levels of technology, of performance, and not straying too far away from the Audi strengths that you know and love about this brand. Now you can see the design of the new A4 certainly doesn't look very different from the old one. In fact, if those of you who aren't familiar with the Audi brand will probably look at this one and just say it looks like the old A4, and that's typically what you find in a lot of the German luxury brands. Their redesigns tend to stay more on the conservative side, and they always will have that family resemblance just to go in line with the theme of the overall brand. Now you can see the front end of the new A4 sports the familiar Audi design languages here. The trapezoidal grille is even more predominant now. The headlights have a more angular finish, and if you guys look around the rest of the body, it looks as if Audi has replaced some of the curves of the old ones with a more boxy, more angular look, just to go with the current design language that Audi has introduced with the redesigned A3 that they did a couple of years ago. Now, all models will come standard with Audi's Xenon Plus headlights. That's a nice standard feature, but a lot of the German competitors come with halogens and make you pay extra for the upgraded model. Now, my particular tester is the upmarket Prestige trim. This is the top of the line model. It comes with full LED headlights as standard equipment. Again, that's a feature that a lot of the competitors make you pay like $1,000 extra for a lighting package. Audi throws in a nice value equation here into the German brand. Now, coming around the side, these 18-inch 5-spoke wheels certainly fill out the wheel wells nicely. You'll get these wheels on the Premium Plus models and up. There is a 19-inch wheel option available if you guys want a little bit bigger rims. Now, coming around the back, you have familiar Audi design languages again. LED taillights do come standard, and this year Audi has added a sequential LED turn signal for the actual taillight. It's kind of similar to what Ford does with the Mustang. When you turn on the signal, the LED blinks in sequence going in the direction of either left or right. It's a pretty nice, cool detail. Certainly makes the car look a little bit more premium. Dual exit exhaust with chrome tips are standard on all the models, and you can take your pick of choice between front wheel drive or the Quattro all-wheel drive system like my tester. Now, if you guys are looking at the overall size, the new A4's height stays roughly the same as last year's, but everything else is bigger. The wheelbase and the width is about a ½ inch larger, and the overall length is about an inch longer to give the passengers a little bit more cabin space inside and make the trunk a little bit larger. Now, under the hood, you're still going to find the familiar Audi 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, updated with more power this year. But enough about the exterior. Let's take a look at the inside and see all of the changes that Audi has made for their all-new sedan. Now, first approaching the all-new A4, you can see the door handle here on the driver's side has a touch-sensitive area. To lock the doors, all you have to do is keep this all-new Audi key fob in your pocket or your purse. I really like the new key fob design. It's a very nice looking key. To lock the door, just tap it right here with your finger, and it beeps to let you know that it locks the door. To unlock it, just come here and touch the back. and that unlocks the door for you. Now the door handle does open in a new upward fashion. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It doesn't feel very intuitive to me. That's just a minor gripe of mine. But looking at the interior of the all-new A4, it certainly has that familiar Audi feel. Now my tester is, as I said, is the top-of-the-line Prestige. It has what they call a warm weather climate package that gives you the upgraded sports seats with a little bit of suede in the lower bolsters. The seats themselves have a nice little thigh extension there. They have thicker bolstering to hold you in place, and the overall cabin certainly looks and feels expensive and classy. This is definitely going with the traditional theme that you guys know and love Audis for. Now, stepping inside the vehicle, you can see getting in, it has you know, that traditional low sports sedan feel that you typically love when you go for the vehicle in this class. Now, shutting the door, the thunk is very solid. Again, that's something you expect when you guys go for a vehicle of this caliber. Now, push button start is actually standard on all the trims. A lot of its competitors make you pay extra for it. If you guys go for a convenience package on the base premium, it gives you the keyless access, the smart access key with the intelligent entry like I showed you. But my tester is the Prestige. It has it. All you have to do is put your foot on the brake and then push the button down here to start up the engine. Now, being that mine is also a Prestige, it also shows off Audi's very impressive virtual cockpit display. Now, what you're looking at in front of you is the instrument panel. This is a 12.3-inch instrumentation, LCD instrumentation display. It replaces the traditional analog gauges. This is available on the Premium Plus and Up models. You have to go for a tech package on the Premium Plus, standard on the Prestige, of course, when you guys go for the top trim. Now, looking at the rest of the cabin here, you can see it has a lot of the familiar Audi design languages that you know about this brand. You can see here a lot of the materials in here are top-notch. You have very nice aluminum trim. You have very expensive, high-quality graining on the upper dashboard. On the door panels, you have the same nice soft-touch graining with some more aluminum trim. You guys can go for a wood grain if you don't prefer the aluminum, if you guys prefer that. Now, looking at the door panels here, it is soft-touch with more leather on the door pad. I wish the armrest here had a little bit more stitching. It is soft, but it could be wrapped in leather. Just a little minor gripe of mine. The window is automatic up-down for all four. You kind of expect that when you go for a vehicle in this class. Now, typically the center stack here, the screen is the star of the interior, but Audi moves it over to the driver's side here with their 12.3-inch virtual cockpit display. Now, I know it doesn't really look like much right now, but check this out, guys. If you guys use this little button here on the steering wheel, I have it in the kind of the trip computer information. When you scroll over to the navigation function, of course, that's Audi Google Maps. There's a little view button here that you can press, and holy crap, that is freaking cool. I mean, this honestly is the technological advancement for this generation A4. I mean, this virtual cockpit display is amazing. Combine that with the head-up display that you get on the Prestige model, and honestly, I left it in this mode all the time with the Google Map navigation. I mean, when you're driving around, which I'll show you guys in the test drive, and seeing that thing change, it is just amazing. It is really, really cool. And even when you guys go for, you know, just the regular display here, you can see you can change the size of the speedometer and the tachometer. Scrolling through the different menus here, this vehicle does have the traffic sign recognition. It has the full driver assistance tech package, your trip computer information here. I mean, honestly, this screen is really where the other German manufacturers need to kind of go with, because this is just very, very impressive. And when you combine that with the 8.3-inch LCD display here, you can actually show you'll have two different navigation screens if you want to. Most of the times I left it on the nav function there, and then I switched it over to the audio function on this screen just because I wanted to see my audio information on this screen. Now, if you guys are wondering if that screen itself actually moves, it does not. It is fixed this year, and that's not what you got with the 2015 Audi A3, for example. Audi is starting to go with that theme here of having the LCD kind of sitting on the top of the dash where it looks like an iPad. And if you guys are wondering, the screen looks a little bit small. It's an 8.3-inch screen, which is competitive. However, when you compare it to this screen just looks kind of small. A little minor gripe of mine. And then when you look at the rest of the interior ambience, of course, it is nice. A little bit on the cold and austere side for me. Vehicles like the new C-Class, which I showed you guys last year, really still wowed me with their warm feeling interior. This new A4 kind of goes for a more colder feel. It really comes down to taste. Neither interior is bad. Just know that some of you may prefer the warmer environments of some competitors. Now, as I said before, the sport seats are very, very supportive. They have this extension for the thigh, very good bolstering. Looking at the center stack here, you can see your audio control, I'm sorry, your climate controls are here. you do have like a 3-zone climate control. These buttons here are also touch sensitive if you guys want to use that, but I like that Audi still gives you knobs. You have your heated and cooled seats, part of the Prestige package. And then looking at the controller down here, this is the familiar Audi MMI controller interface. This is new for 2017 for the A4. The old model soldier on with the old system. When you go to the menu function here, you can see you have your traditional Audi sources here: navigation, phone, media, sound, vehicle settings. I mean, this is from the Audi Drive Select. This vehicle does have Audi Connect with a 4G LTE wireless hotspot, which is nice. They first introduced that on the A3. I mean, all the technology that you expect from Audi is definitely in this vehicle. Now, one thing I don't really like is this new shifter controller. It's a little counterintuitive for me. I don't like the location of the park button. I kind of wish that it was over here, but this is the button you have to push to actually shift it. But basically, it always returns to this home position here. Until put into drive, you push the button here and then kick all the way back. That puts it into drive. Push it forward just once, and that pushes it into neutral. Push it forward all the way, and it goes into reverse. And when you do go into reverse, you have Audi's full 360-degree camera with their surround view system. It does have trajectory for the rear and for the front, so that's very nice to have. You also have front and rear parking sensors. So honestly, if you guys hit something while you're driving, you're a terrible driver. This vehicle also has their rear cross traffic alert with exit assist and side blind zone assist. Something that's new this year is when you park the vehicle on the side of the road and you're trying to open the door to get out, the sensors here will detect if there's an oncoming car, and it'll flash this side blind zone alert and beep to let you know, don't open the door, there's a car coming, unless you want to have your door ripped off and cause an accident. Looking at the rest of this center stack here, the MMI system, as I said before, it does have Audi's handwriting function. So if you guys want to input address, you can just kind of write what you want to the pad. It works really well. I also like the fact that Audi has finally switched the rotation of the wheel. If I want to scroll down, I now have to turn the knob to the right, which is clockwise. That scrolls down. Turn it to go up, you scroll it left. That is the correct way for me. And it took Audi a long time to finally adjust that. I complained about that in the past from previous Audis. I'm liking the fact that Audi has addressed that for this redesigned model. One thing you're also going to notice, the armrest here is adjustable, typical Audi fashion. You can kind of make it go up and down if you want to. And there's finally USB ports in here. For the longest time, Audi made you use a proprietary cable, and it took them forever to go to the USB jack. Now you just need to input the USB, and it works just like every other car. So bravo, Audi, for finally joining the times. Just something that I was complaining about in the older generation models. Now, looking above you, a sunroof does come standard on all models. That's a nice feature to have. Unfortunately, it is just a standard size sunroof. There is no panoramic roof option like the Mercedes-Benz C-Class, for example, or some other competitors, but it's nice that Audi gives you that feature as standard equipment. Looking at the glove compartment here, it's a decent size. It's lined with felt, it's damped. There is something new that's this year, is a little storage compartment right behind the steering wheel, or underneath the steering wheel. This little compartment here is actually designed to hold your owner's manual. So nice little storage, clever storage options here. I like the new steering wheel. It has a nice thick bolstering. The leather feels nice. I kind of wish it was a flat bottom design. I believe there was like an introductory model when the A4 came out that had a flat bottom. I expect Audi to introduce that for the S4, if you guys want to actually wait for that one. Now, overall, this cabin of this new model certainly impresses me. It just doesn't have that warm, like uber luxury feel that you get in the new Mercedes-Benz C-Class, but I definitely prefer this interior over the current BMW 3 Series. Now, checking out the rear seat of the 2017 A4, you can see Audi did increase the legroom and passenger capacity with the larger size this year. There is pretty generous room back here, and the door opening is pretty large, so getting inside the back seat is pretty easy. It's a very nice place to spend time. I have very good foot space underneath the front seats, and then when you shut the door, it has that same solid thunk. The materials here are still soft touch plastic with some more leather on the door panels here. My warm weather package tester has these retractable manual sunshades. Very nice feature to have, especially if you guys live in areas that are warmer climates. You do have dual map pockets in the front seats, and then you'll have your own separate set of vents back here with heated rear seats, and then a separate 3-zone climate control for passengers in the back seat. So really, this is a really nice place to spend time. There is a pretty big hump here, so the middle passenger won't be quite as comfortable, but when you fold down this armrest here, you can see you have very nice storage available, and it's a very nice place to spend time. Now, the seats are 60-40 split, which add to that level of practicality, and the Prestige model kind of gives you all LED lighting throughout the cabin, so at night this vehicle has a really classy, high quality feel to it. Now, looking at the trunk capacity of the new A4, you can see the trunk actually was enlarged this year, about 0.6 cubic feet larger. It's now measuring about 13 cubic feet of space. You can see it goes in pretty deep. The seats do fold down 60/40. When you look underneath the floorboard here, Audi does give you a temporary spare. Nice to have. A lot of the competitors give you run flat tires or a fix a flat kit. Overall, I think the trunk is very nicely finished and it's a very generous size. So underneath the hood of the 2017 A4, you can see Audi pretty much pioneered the 2-liter turbocharged motor in this segment. And for 2017, the company has definitely made improvements to the company's corporate TFSI 2-liter motor. Now, compared to last year's output, horsepower is up 32 ponies. Now, it now produces 252 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Now, that does top the class for turbocharged 4-cylinders in this segment. Now, this is currently the only engine choice in the A4 for the US market. There is no diesel option because diesel is still a dirty word until Audi gets that addressed with their 4-cylinder. There is no 6-cylinder option yet. Now, an S4 will be coming in the next few months. That will have a new 6-cylinder option. A lot of people have rumored that it will go to a turbocharged offering instead of the superchargers in the current model. Now, fuel economy has also been improved this year. It's now rated at 2431 if you guys go for the Quattro all-wheel drive. Now, all the A4s come with a 7-speed dual-clutch automated manual. That actually replaces last year's 8-speed automatic, and there's no manual available currently. Audi says that may change in the coming years, so we'll have to wait and see if they decide to bring a stick to the market. Now, you can take your pick between front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The front-drive models, of course, get a little bit better gas mileage, and Audi was able to reduce the weight of this vehicle. Even though it's larger, it's about 100 pounds lighter. So my tester weighs about 3,600 pounds. Let's get out on the road and see how it all works together, shall we? So the compact sport luxury sedan segment is probably my personal favorite type of vehicle. In fact, if I needed an all-around daily driver that needed to do everything for me, this is probably the kind of car that I would purchase. Now, I've always had a soft spot for the A4. I loved the previous generation, even though it got old. This is my first time driving the all-new B9 platform. This is the 5th generation model. Let's take a look and see how Audi has improved the previous model. Whoa. Okay. I'm pretty impressed. For just a standard A4, wow. This feels completely way better in terms of acceleration versus the old model. Wow. You can credit that to that dual clutch, man. This 7-speed dual clutch. I was a little hesitant at first, Audi replacing the 8-speed auto with this, but this is really good. Wow. Holy crap! Okay, so the new 2-liter turbocharged engine is a peach. Wow, and it's so smooth too. This is very smooth. This definitely has topped the class in terms of the base motor offerings. I mean, the BMW 328i, when I first drove that, I liked the engine. I didn't like the way it sounded, though. It sounded like a diesel sometimes. The new C300 Mercedes is better than the BMW, but it's not as quick in terms of acceleration. But this has a nice little middle ground. I mean, Audi bumped the horsepower by 32, gave us more torque. The 7-speed dual clutch certainly is a quick shifting transmission. It gives this vehicle a nice blend of sporty driving, but when you need to drive just comfortably around town, it's also relatively smooth. Most drivers probably wouldn't even notice it's a dual clutch. Impressive, guys. Really impressive. Now, there isn't too much test data, but Motor Trend did just test this all-new 2017 model. They said it would hit 60 in 5.4 seconds, which is right in line with Audi's estimate. They said the front drive model will do it in about 6.1. 5.3 with the grippier all-wheel drive system. And I have to say, it feels every bit as fast. I mean, that puts it right in line with the class leader, the BMW 328i, about a second quicker versus the previous generation and a second quicker than the current Mercedes C300 and that new Lexus IS200T. Now, Audis have definitely been more about blending a balance between comfort and sport. This new A4 certainly feels that way. Now, the steering is obviously an electric power steering assist. I have it in its dynamic setting, which is its sportiest setting. And I have to say, I'm pretty disappointed with the steering feel. It's still too light. It's very numb. The chassis feels incredible. This is an all-new platform. It feels rigid. It feels strong. It feels stiff. But the steering just isn't talking to me, and that's kind of a letdown when I'm driving a sports sedan. Now, I'm sure the S4, when that comes out, will address that issue. But those of you looking for the sportiest offering, the Mercedes C300 actually feels a little bit better in terms of the steering feel, and then the Cadillac ATS really is the class leader in terms of that. But in terms of the refinement capability or aspect of this car, Audi has really stepped up their game. This car feels like an A6. The interior is really hushed. The ride is super comfortable. Even though my Tester doesn't have the adaptive dynamic suspension, they've struck a nice balance here between sportiness and comfort, and I think a lot of buyers are going to really enjoy that on their daily drive. Now, another new feature that I've never tested on an Audi that's included on this A4 is their company's start-stop technology. That's basically where the engine will shut off when you come to a stop. It works fairly well. You just come to a complete stop right here and have your foot hard on the brake. The engine shuts off, and when you release the brake, it starts up relatively seamlessly. I do notice there is an initial hesitation off the line, but I'm mostly attributing that to the 7-speed dual clutch. It's a great transmission, shifts really quick. Most of you probably won't even notice it's a dual clutch, but the only thing I really notice is initially there's a slight hesitation, slight lag. I'm not sure if it's the turbo lag. I'm not sure if it's the dual clutch just kind of getting its stuff together to get you going. But it is still one of the best dual clutches in the business, right up in line there with the dual clutch that's in the Acura TLX, but it's paired to a much more exciting engine versus the all-new TLX. I love that dual clutch, man. That dual clutch, when it shifts, it has that nice little crackle in the exhaust. It's very mild. I mean, this is still just a regular A4, so it's not going to overwhelm you with noisiness, but it got a nice muted bark to the exhaust. So, and I really appreciate that. Now, getting up to highway speeds here, I'm going to put the transmission into its drive setting. I'm going to put the drive select system to its automatic setting. Or I could actually do comfort if I wanted to. That kind of softens everything up. And I also will set the Audi adaptive cruise control. This is their drive dynamic adaptive cruise control with stop and go. This is the first time I'm testing an Audi system, so let's see how it works. Now, Audi system pretty much works like a lot of its competitors. All you have to do is just push this little button here on the stock, set the cruise control to the speed you want, and it will follow the car to you in front of you to a complete stop. It has what Audi calls their congestion assistant, where it'll kind of help you when you're stop and go traffic. It also has Audi's active lane keeping assist, where the system will actually steer you into the lane. So if you start to veer over the lane without signaling, it'll actually send a little rumble through the steering wheel, which I like, because instead of those annoying beeps that lets everybody know you're a terrible driver, the Audi system will kind of just vibrate the wheel. Only you will notice that, and it'll actively stay in the lane. Now, this car is not like the Tesla Autopilot. It's not like the new Drive Pilot that the new E-Class has, but it's definitely a system that works very well, so I'm pretty impressed with it. But at the same time, I'm also disappointed because Audi has been Audi is supposed to be a technology leader, and they've been a little bit behind. This A4 definitely is playing a little bit of catch up, but I have to say that I think that it was worth the wait. So those of you who are a big fan of the A4 will finally like all the technology that they're throwing into this car. Now, one thing that still really impresses me that I want to talk about briefly is the Audi virtual cockpit display here. I mean, I'm going to go back to the nav setting here. You can see that is Google Earth that puts it right in your line of sight. And if you want, you can make the gauges slightly larger to give you a more traditional view. Surprisingly, I actually thought I would prefer it in that setting, but I actually like it more in the smaller setting here because you have your head-up display, and that's all you really need to see. I mean, you do have a glance at the TAC, but really, I just love looking at that, the display of the car just moving through the Google Earth maps. Now, some of you may have questioned whether this may be a little distracting, and I have to admit, if you're not a techie, this car's cabin is literally a tech lover's dream. If you're not a techie, you prefer more traditional luxury, I definitely would say head over to the Mercedes dealership and check out the new C-Class, because this may overwhelm you. There's a lot going on here. I mean, I could put up the nav function here and have 2 different nav screens here going through, which is amazing. I think it looks awesome. But it definitely can be a little overwhelming for those of you who aren't quite used to this level of involvement, this level of just LCD information overload that this new A4 certainly gives you. Anyways, let's talk about a couple of numbers here. Now, Audi did improve the fuel economy a little bit on this new one. It's now rated at 24.31. Now, I actually was averaging about 22 miles per gallon in mostly DC driving. On the highway, I came back. On mostly highway, I got about 32. So I was able to do a little bit better than the EPA numbers, and that's pretty in line with the class. The BMW was definitely the leader in terms of fuel economy, and basically all the competitors have caught up. Really, I love the combination, the blend that this car offers in terms of sportiness, in terms of efficiency. It definitely hits that sweet spot for a lot of buyers, and I can see why the new A4 will definitely be making it to a lot of shoppers' shortlist in the coming months, as this thing has just basically gone on sale. I will definitely never get tired of that, and that's the beauty of a sports sedan like that, is just having that power and that blend. So if you want to just drive smoothly, I can put it into comfort mode, and the car will just kind of go about its business. And if you wanted to drive aggressively, it has that nice bark. It has that sportiness that won't overdo it, that's not going to make this a terrible daily driver. Anyways, for all this technology, you're probably wondering, what is the price? This kind of a car certainly is not cheap. You're going to be paying a premium to get something like this, and compared to the 2016 model, this new A4 is about $1,400 more expensive, which is reasonable for me. I mean, for the improved power, the improved fuel economy, the more space, all the technology, it's worth it. But it's still cheaper than its BMW and Mercedes rivals by about $1,000. This car starts at $37,300 for a base front drive premium model, which comes with a backup camera. It comes with leather seats. It comes with the xenon headlights, Bluetooth and USB. I mean, those are features that are optional on a lot of its competitors, and Audi gives that to you as standard. Now, if you guys want Quattro all-wheel drive, you got to get Quattro with an Audi. It's about $2,000 more if you guys want the Quattro all-wheel drive system. Now, my tester, being that it's a prestige model, the top of the line, you have to put another $8,600 on top of that $37,000 price. It gives you a lot of things: navigation, Bang & Olufsen premium sound, upgraded sports seats, upgraded wheels. You do have the availability to get the adaptive cruise control, all that tech stuff basically. Now, my tester has a couple of options on it. It's got that driver assistance tech package for about $1,800. It's got the warm weather and cold weather package. That's about $2,000 extra as well. All in, my tester is about $53,600, which is a lot of money. I mean, if you guys are used to looking at $20,000, $30,000, regular like Accords or something, family cars, this is going to be an expensive car for sure. However, if you guys are comparing it to its Mercedes and BMW rivals, the A4 is actually less expensive. You can top out a BMW 320i or a Mercedes 300 at over 60 grand if you guys aren't careful with the options. Now, granted, the Audi is missing like a big pano sunroof. It's not available on this car, but I think that Audi brings a lot to the table. They bring a lot of value into this segment, which is not what you expect from a German car. So it brings you a little bit of that Japanese value into the equation. And Audi, if you guys look at the reliability surveys, is actually pretty high up there. Consumer Reports rates the Audi brand basically in line with the Japanese competitors. But again, these are cars with a lot of electronics, so some of you may have better luck with others. I'm not going to tell you to buy this car or buy a Lexus or buy an Acura based on reliability. You really need to drive everything on the market and see which one fits your taste. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed my overview of the all-new 2017 Audi A4. If you're in the market for a compact luxury sports sedan like this one is definitely a must-drive. It offers an appealing blend of luxury, performance, technology, and a very attractive price when you guys look at all of its competitors. Anyways, if you are also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, make sure you follow me on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, subscribe to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews on all the newest vehicles. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you all in the next video.